All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing, many salutations unto your elect across the four winds of this earth, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. And as I'm sitting here,
I roll and we this.
Listening to the elder Yashawamba's lesson that he did titled Preach the Word, there's a few things that I had set in mind that I wanted to talk about and go into. And as I was listening to his lesson, Salaki, one sec. As I was listening to this lesson right here, he had brought up a point, and the point that he brought out, I had looked at it as confirmation on why I wanted to go into this lesson right here and why I wanted to go into it so suddenly. Again, it's titled Preach the Word. But in this lesson right here, he brought up many good points. But one of the points that he brought out that he had that set home is when you look at a lot of these other camps, and this isn't shots fired or anything. Take it how it is. Just receive it for what it is through the Spirit. But when you look at a lot of these other camps and a lot of these Israelites that are out here that know that they're Israelites, they'll shun declaring the news, the report, the things that are going on, prophecy. And when you read it in the book of Revelation, Revelation, hold on one sec. Revelation, the 19th chapter. And a matter of fact, I want to get it. I'd rather pull it out. When you read this here, hold on. In Revelation chapter 19, I'm going to just say, read this real quick, and I'm going to touch up on it and go back to the elder's point. Where Revelation 19:10 says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahawashi. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy." Okay? So when you go into that word spirit there in the Greek, that word is pronounced pneuma. When you go into that word spirit in the Greek, that word spirit is pronounced pneuma. And that's where you get like pneumonia, respiratory, breath. That's what it goes into. So the prophets in the latter days were going to, literally his servants that are on the forefront, were going to go into prophecy. And we see the things that are taking place. Out of all the camps, and we say this with humility, it ain't like we always out here just telling everybody that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, but the Spirit has it to the point where that is one of the main things that we talk about. And like I said earlier, it's not bragging, it's not boasting or anything like that, because if anything, we boast in the Lord. Okay? But when you go into that, that is one of the main prophecies. That's why you see the Spirit so heavy on Apostle Tahar, the Great Millstone, going so much into the mark of the beast and other prophecies. Because it says in Revelation 19, all right, that the testimony, the true testimony, okay, just bear with me, the true testimony, all right, and when you go into that word testimony, it goes back to a witness. And in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, it says, when this gospel is preached unto all the earth, it shall be for a witness and a sign to the end, loosely paraphrasing. But when you go into that word witness, it means testimony. Okay? So what we preach, prophecy was going to be at the forefront in regards to the testimony or the gospel. Now go back to what was mentioned in the elder's lesson he did. These other guys are not going into this. They're not going into the prophecies. And that's a problem. Obviously, it's written, but in order to consider yourself, if you consider yourself being a man of the Lord, you have to look at this and think to yourself, we need to be going into this, because if not, it's a problem. Because that shows that is the true testimony of Yahawashi, the spirit of prophecy. All right, the spirit of prophecy was going to be overflowing here, especially within these latter days. What as is written in Habakkuk chapter 2, it's, what's going on, man? It says the vision is set for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie. Okay? The end it shall speak and it is not going to lie. Why is that? Because the prophecy was going to be so bold It's going to be so obvious due into what the teachers were teaching pertaining to this prophecy, to the point where if you believe it, you know it's the truth. And if you deny it, you tripping. Because the prophecies are speaking for itself. The work of the Lord is speaking for itself. Okay? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 24. Hold on. Sirach chapter 24. And I'm going to read the last few verses. Okay? Sirach 24 and 31. Okay? Now, before I read this here, all right, we've been, like, I'm gonna say it even distinctly, very particularly. All right, last Friday in our camp, the Dallas camp, all right, and when I'm saying it, generally speaking, this is happening to all the camps, but I'm going back to what happened this past Friday on what's driving me to really touch upon this through the Spirit. Okay? So last Friday in the Dallas camp, there was a literal ship that was hovering right behind the Akim that was out there preaching with the elder Yahawashi. Okay? And we was talking to ourselves pretty much like, man, it's crucial how the Lord is showing his chariots. All right, how he's revealing his chariots. And being honest with you, just calling a spade, when you really look at who this is being revealed unto, it's only being revealed unto the men of Great Millstone. And that's not saying this with pride, with arrogancy, just calling a fact, calling a spade. And also listen to the big bro, the elder brother Arianaz's lesson he did a few days ago, going into why the Most High is revealing his chariots only unto the men of Great Millstone and those that follow the doctrine. Those that follow the doctrine. Okay? And it's a reason why the elder Yahawashi brought up a beautiful point. The Lord is clearly saying, these are my beloved sons in whom I am well pleased. These are the men, starting with our apostles on down, these are the men that are following the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. And one way to confirm that, not only with the chariots, not only with the miraculous signs and such, but it's prophecy. Let's just be real. Not saying that these other camps don't go into the prophecies at all, but when it comes to the mark of the beast, when it comes into this information that needs to be brought out now, nobody else is bringing this out as distinctly and as persistent as the men of Great Millstone and the men that follow that doctrine, starting with our apostles on down. That's why I wanted to read this here in Revelation 19, where it said the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy. Those that are truly witnessing in these latter days and prophesying are only going to come in the spirit of prophecy. Going to be able to point out what's happening. This is going on. That's going on. This is where we can find it at. Just calling a spade. So with all that being the case, I'm going to read this here in Sirach chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 30. And it says, I also came out as a brook from a river. And this is talking about wisdom. All right. And as a conduit into a garden. All right. And the conduit pretty much. And when you really just go into a conduit is something that harnesses particular energy, and it brings the energy out of whatever it's receiving that energy from. Okay. Verse 31 says, I said, I'm sorry, even before I continue, like, for example, we are conduits of the Most High. We're those vessels that are receiving this energy, and we're distributing it, and we're declaring it out. Okay, we're conducting. That's where the word conduit goes into. It goes conducting, a conductor. The message of the Heavenly Father, his energy is being conducted into his men, and his men are giving this energy out. Okay. So wisdom is being likened unto a conduit. Okay. Verse 32 says, verse 31 says, I said, I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed. Okay. And what is this? What is the water likened unto? The water is likened unto this word. Okay. That's why you read it in the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, which I'm going to get right now. But in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, Starting from the top, it says, "Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, and my speech shall distill as the dew." So if he's likening his doctrine unto the rain, which is water, and in Sirach 24, it says, "I will water my best garden," why is it so hard to believe that you can have 100% truth? And the reason why people argue with that is because they sincerely don't have it. They don't have the 100% truth, but there were going to be individuals that were raised up and born through the Spirit to be able to have 100% truth, because those were the ones that were proclaimed to be watered with the best. That's the best garden. All right. In that water, that truth was going to be distributed in its entirety, in its full effect. And that's another reason why when you read it in Habakkuk chapter 2, it says, the vision shall be plain upon tables, and the end it shall speak. It's not only speaking because the visions are being received and given unto us, but it's being declared. Now we got to ask ourselves, who is declaring the entire vision? Okay, who is declaring the entire vision? Because his vision is likened unto that doctrine, because it was written upon those tables. All right, it was written, it was indoctrinated upon these tables, but it was going to be speaking in the latter days. Why do you think all these things are happening on the planet Earth right now? We said this before it was happening. We declared this before it actually, and it's going to be more. But we declared these things. And saying this with humility, not saying it's bragging or boasting. Even the elder brought us up in his lesson. But it's the reason why the chariots are revealing themselves unto the men of great millstone. Because you read it in Revelation chapter 14. Matter of fact, I'm going to get it. Because those chariots are synonymous for the angels. The angels travel in those chariots. So let's read this here. Revelation chapter 14. Okay. One sec. This is the book of Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. And it says, "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel." So these angels have the gospel. What is the gospel though? Because these regular people will look at the gospel and say, "Oh, it's the good news," which is true. But they'll say it's the good news, but they cannot specify and they cannot elaborate on what that good news is and who the good news is pertaining to. They can't do that because they're spiritually discerned, as the scriptures say. Okay? So it says, "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel, to preach unto them on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people." And the angels are in those chariots. So I'm going to say this again. It's a reason why the angels of the Heavenly Father are constantly revealing themselves unto the men of great millstone, and not only us, but those that have this doctrine. It's a reason why, because we are the true possessors of the gospel. We are the true possessors of the gospel, man. And it's being made evident. I'm gonna say this, not saying that these other camps might not necessarily see a chariot, because we always talk about, we believe that there's sincere men that are in these other camps, but it's a reason why you don't see them posting them. You think if they were to see the chariots, they wouldn't post them? Come on, at any opportunity anyone gets, especially that know that the angels are pertaining to the chariots, you're going to record it. The Lord literally has technology out here where you can record it. Not saying that every man is going to record it every time that they get, but it was going to be made obvious. Why is not ISUPK showing pictures and videos of the chariots? Why isn't IUIC recording and showing pictures of the chariots? Why isn't Sakari recording and showing the chariots? Not that it's only about that, but the reason why I'm touching up on that is to show you why the Most High is showing his angels unto these particular men. That's all it is. And that's why I wanted to pull up Revelation 14, because it says the angels are the ones that have the gospel. And they preach it unto us, which means they drop down the doctrine from heaven. They speak the doctrine from heaven, and it rains down as the dew. And it rains down and gets, it nourishes his elect that are meant to continue to carry on that tradition in the earth. Thy will in heaven as it is on earth. The angels got it. We're the angels wrapped in this flesh, right? So as the angels declare this word unto us, we are doing the same thing. We're speaking this word that's dropped down from the heavens, and that's a gift. That's why a lot of these other camps, a lot of these other guys are not going into the things that are happening right now. That's why they're not going into the mark of the beast. That's why they're not going into the Neuralink technology. That's why they're not touching up on the vaccination, on these different things, because it is not meant for them to receive it. They are not, that's not their job. That's not their job. That job is given unto the prophets of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. Revelation chapter 14 verse 7, saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Now, you find it ironic. It was the spirit of Apostle Tahar to say, look, every video, every day, it's the spirit that there's so much doctrine that's being poured out right now. Brothers are going hard right now through the spirit. And it's a reason why through the spirit. That is the reason why. All right, because we know the hour has come, judgment has come. So within this hour, it was literally written for us to give glory unto our power. And what more way, better way to give glory is through the utterance, through the mouth, which goes into the oracles. The oracles that were sent down is being distributed back unto him. We are glorifying his name dearly, man. Dearly. Now, we know there's going to be martyrs. But I'm going to say this. We going to be taken care of, man. Just as those angels are revealing themselves unto the men of Great Millstone and the doctrine that's being preached, why would they not aid in saving us from dire troubles? These are the things that we got to think about. Because the Lord is showing us outwardly. And as we know that the time that's coming is going to get difficult. It's going to be harder, you know. But when you read it in 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, it says, those that are of thy number shall not perish, for I will require them. And then when you go into that word require, it means to be set aside for a particular purpose. And if the angels are revealing themselves unto us, showing that this is the correct way, why would they forsake you if you believe and if you keep your garments on until that time comes? It only makes sense that it's not going to work as your destruction. It's only going to be for your salvation. And that's why I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it again. This is the time of salvation for the elect. Even though we see judgment happening, stores closing, economies closing down, whatever, this is what we want. This is what we've preached about. This is what we've been on the highways about. This is the message we've declared as we sacrifice ourselves. This is what we're talking about. This is the message right here that is bringing down kingdoms, empires, moving mountains. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. And part of that message is going to be on what this angel is saying right here. Revelation 14 and 7. Saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High. That's another thing too. There's not enough fear on the planet Earth. All right. Really starting with you Israelites, starting with you Jakes. All right. There's not enough fear here. And that's why this judgment's going to take place. These people are going to know a death by pain. Not enough fear that's here. It says, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. That's not going on neither. Who really is worshiping the God of heaven and earth? Who really is worshiping Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, man? Ain't nobody, because actions speak louder than words. Like you read it in Isaiah 29. It says, though they did it openly, really deep down, their hearts were far from me. Okay, and again, actions speak louder than words. As long as this knowledge has been put out here, people can say, oh, this is true, oh, that's deep. But they don't really believe it because they're not willing to repent. They don't change the actions. All right? That's what it is. This is an action-based solution. The only way solutions can truly come is through action. All right? People have been talking out the side of their neck for however the hell long, man. Okay? The men of the Lord are going to be conducting action. They're going to be conduits for the Lord's action. And The majority of that, or I don't want to say the majority, but the start of that is going to become by proclamation of his gospel, declaring, preaching, his doctrine being brought down as prophecy. That's an action. Who's doing that? Revelation 14:8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's also part of the gospel. Babylon has to fall. America has to fall. Who is going into this? I'll wait. Now, obviously, not taking this away from other guys that are out there. This ain't about what we doing, what you ain't doing, whatever. But this lesson here is pointing out the fact of calling a spade, man. The gospel prophecy was going to be poured out abundantly. Not only poured out, but in Sirach 24, it said abundantly. All right? There's going to be so much of prophecy being poured out. People aren't going to be able to catch the videos. They ain't going to be able to keep up with everything because that's how it is with rain. All right? If you stand outside and you try to catch every raindrop with a cup, it's literally impossible, but you're going to catch what you catch. That's how this doctrine is going to be poured out here within these latter days. That's why there's so many videos going out, so many different brothers on fire. So much information is coming out. Okay? And part of that is saying Babylon is fallen. A lot of people say this is hate speech. Oh man, I live here. What do you mean it's fallen? This place is so damn wicked. Homosexuals allowed all these different rights, getting married, all this witchcraft going on. Okay? Adultery at its all-time high. It's all types of madness and wicked. What the fuck do you mean you want to stay here forever? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're in a time right now where the Lord is speaking. He's about to close his mouth, and his action is about to speak louder than his words. And his words are what we speak, what we declare, come out of what he wrote down and told us to say. But we enter into the time of action. We enter into the time of his smoke right now. And best believe I don't want to be no part of his smoke that he getting ready to bring. As it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 18, verse 24, think of the wrath of the Lord before he turneth his face. And that's the time that we're entering into. That's the time that we're in. This is right here. This is the beginning of sorrows. Only the beginning. Oh, it's going to get a whole lot worse. A hell of a lot worse. Okay? So, hey, man, for y'all that are teeter-tottering, don't know what you want to do, don't know who to believe or something, about the time to snap it to a Slim Jim. If you stuck between Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, hey, you better choose. Okay? And he said, I'd rather you cold or hot. Because you've been lukewarm, you shall be spewing out of my mouth. All right? That lukewarm spirit is through, man. Okay? The Lord is speaking. And actions speak louder than words. So I'm going to end it off on that. Lord's willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Makakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing. Many salutations unto you elect. Pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.